Hey fellow gardeners, before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and comment below. I want to hear if you've ever tried transforming your soil with something as simple as a sprinkle. Today, I'm sharing a trick that completely changed my raised bed, turning it into a thriving worm hotel almost overnight. This isn't magic, it's science you can use, and it works whether you're a beginner just starting your garden or an experienced grower looking to supercharge your soil life. I started with a bare raised bed and almost no expectations. When I first laid out my raised bed, I thought I'd have to spend months layering compost, mulch and organic matter to see any real soil life develop. My soil was okay, but lifeless, just typical garden dirt. I wanted worms because they are the ultimate soil engineers. They aerate the soil, break down organic matter, and turn your dirt into nutrient-rich humus. I didn't want to wait, so I experimented with a simple powder I had read about, rock dust, specifically a finely ground basalt powder. Rock dust is packed with minerals that living organisms in the soil crave. While worms eat organic matter, they are also sensitive to the chemical composition of their environment. When you add minerals like calcium, magnesium, and trace elements, you're essentially creating a nutrient buffet for the microorganisms worms feed on. More microorganisms mean more food, and more food means more worms. I sprinkled about a quarter cup of rock dust per square foot, spreading it evenly over the raised bed. Then I lightly watered it in. Within a few days I noticed tiny worm tracks in the moist soil, and within 2 weeks my raised bed was crawling with worms. The powder alone is powerful, but you can amplify the effect by layering organic matter on top. I added shredded leaves and a thin layer of compost about 1 inch deep. The rock dust and organic matter work together. The powder enriches the microbes, and the organic matter gives worms a soft, nutritious habitat. I also made sure to water gently. Too much water washes minerals away, too little leaves them inaccessible. Maintaining consistent moisture creates a comfortable environment for worms to settle in. Many gardeners assume you have to buy worms to jumpstart a raised bed, but if your soil conditions are right, nature will do it for you. In my case, after sprinkling the powder and providing organic cover, worms from surrounding soil and compost started migrating in on their own. The key is creating an environment that's hospitable: loose soil, steady moisture, mineral-rich food, and a bit of shelter from the sun. For small raised beds, a quarter cup per square foot is enough. But if you have a larger plot, you can use 2 to 5 pounds of rock dust per 100 square feet. Sprinkled evenly and lightly watered, you can repeat this every 3 months or after heavy harvests to maintain a healthy worm population. If you're planting vegetables like tomatoes or leafy greens, doing this in early spring gives worms time to settle before the growing season. For beds with sandy or depleted soil, I recommend mixing in a thin layer of compost first, then sprinkling the rock dust. This ensures the powder doesn't just sit on top, but integrates with organic matter, maximizing its benefits. I've done this in both clay-heavy and sandy soils, and the results were impressive in every case. Once you have a flourishing worm population, you'll notice your garden changes dramatically. The soil becomes softer, drains better, and holds nutrients longer. Plants grow more vigorously because worms constantly churn the soil, break down organic matter, and deposit worm castings, which are essentially nature's fertilizer. Even more amazing, you'll start noticing less garden pests. Healthy soil produces healthier plants, and healthy plants are naturally more resistant. Not all powders are created equal. Avoid chemical-based fertilizers masquerading as minerals. You want natural, finely ground rock dust. Also, avoid applying it in large, concentrated piles. Spread it evenly. Over-application can actually harm young plants by changing soil pH too quickly. The goal is balance, not shock therapy. I now treat my raised beds to this mineral sprinkle about once every season. It's low effort but high impact. Combine it with regular compost additions, mulching and cover crops, and your soil practically takes care of itself. The best part? Watching a once lifeless bed turn into a thriving ecosystem is incredibly satisfying. If you try this in your garden, leave a comment below and share your results. I love hearing stories from fellow gardeners about what worked in their soil. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel because we're just scratching the surface of practical, low-maintenance ways to make your garden thrive. Sharing this guide can help friends and neighbors turn their raised beds into vibrant worm hotels too.